This is Jim McCarty, drummer for the Yardbirds and member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I enjoy listening to Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast.
In your sister's room, that's where it started. Hello, this is Paul.
This is Laura.
And I'm Alton.
We are Team Derringer.
And you are listening to Derringer Discoveries,
where we take you, the listener, on an adventure.
A music adventure.
Really don't mind if you sit this one out.
We are here today with one of our listeners, music publicist and artist representative Anne Leighton from New York City.
Listeners, as you will hear in this episode, Anne Leighton has represented many famous artists throughout her career.
We want to give you a big Derringer Discoveries welcome. We are so happy to have you. Say hello to our listeners and tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in this business?
First, thank you for having me, and hello to all the folks, as well as you and you and you and you.
Glad you're here.
I started in the business just organically. In high school, I would read the music pages and the entertainment pages of the local newspaper and would listen to the radio.
My words but a whisper, your deafness a shout.
And then when I went to college, I immediately went to the college radio station, and I never left.
I may make you feel, but I can't make you think.
So Anne, you said you were a publicist, and I understand you've written articles for some well-known trade rags, as some of us call them, or music magazines.
Sure. Well, I was an editor at Hit Parader and Rock and Soul and Country Song Roundup for about 8 years, especially Hit Parader. I did the bulk of the work with the hard rock kids.
So you ride yourselves over the field.
And that included editing the letters column and choosing songs for the magazine. Sometimes I would slide and sneak in some punk rock songs. For the most part, it was Hit Parader. I freelanced for Goldmine. The first artist that I wrote about for Goldmine had the same last name as you all, which was
Derringer.
Yeah.
Should I hazard to guess if it's Rick Derringer?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
How did you know?
It's the only Derringer I can think of other than us.
And I also wrote for Cream Metal. I wrote for Billboard a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. I got my foot in the door about folk music when I wrote for them. Many other mags.
Yeah.
I have a passion for listening to new music and trying to figure out how well independent artists will do. And that's one of the things I like about your show is that you'll play a range of artists that are working hard on their careers. So thank you for that.
You are listening to Derringer Discoveries.
With listeners in more than 30 countries.
And you are a publicist. And I think sometimes maybe folks would get that a little bit confused with the term promoter. What's the difference between the two?
I think publicity is in the category of promoter. So if you call me promoter, I'm not going to get a cow about it.
Really don't mind if you sit this one out.
But the difference is publicists tend to deal more with the mass media as well as podcasts such as Derringer Discoveries, TV, radio, internet, and we often might overlap with other people's duties.
My words but a whisper, your deafness a shout.
And our listeners are mostly musicians and recording artists. The reason we had you on our show today is because we believe our listeners will be interested to hear about some of the artists that you have worked with through the years. First of all, how many years have you been doing this? And would you be willing to estimate approximately how many artists you have helped through the years?
I think I've helped about 140, 150 artists. Those that paid me and I worked with for a minimum of 2 or 3 months. And of those 150, I would say there's probably about 60 that I've had repeat work with through the years or long time relationships with.
So you ride yourselves over the field.
And for this episode, we've asked you to talk about 3 of the artists that you've represented over the years. The first one that you requested to talk about, and I think our listeners are going to be super excited about this.
Then your wise men don't know how it feels.
The world-famous British rock band,
You'd be thick as a brick.
Jethro Tull, and its primary singer and flutist, Ian Anderson. or flautist?
Is it flutist or flautist?
Alton and I have a flutist who insists that it's flutist, but I know there are other people who say flautist. So I think no matter what we say, half of the population will correct us.
Or flute player.
Flute player. There you go. That's the safe choice.
Maybe that's better.
And the sandcastle virtues are all swept away.
They're all good. Ian's been referred to as all of the above.
That's where a publicist comes in. When you don't know if it's flutist or flautist, it's flute player.
Listeners, in case you've been living under a rock for many, many years, the band Jethro Tull was named after the famous 18th century British agriculturalist by the same name. Jethro Tull, the band, was formed in Blackpool, Lancashire, England in the year 1967.
In the tidal destruction, the moral malaise.
Initially playing blues rock and jazz fusion, the band soon incorporated elements of English folk music, hard rock, and classical music. How's that for a combination?
The elastic retreat rings the close of play.
They forged a signature progressive rock sound as they developed. The group's founder, band leader, principal composer, lead vocalist, and only constant member of the band today is Ian Anderson. He is a multi-instrumentalist who mainly sings, plays flute, and sometimes the acoustic guitar.
Wise men don't know how it feels.
With more than 1.6 million monthly listeners on Spotify and primarily known as an album-oriented AOR rock artist, during the past 68 years, Jethro Tull has put 27 albums on the charts.
Walking through forests of palm tree heartlands.
They've also had a number 12 hit song in 1974 with Bungle in the Jungle.
Let's bungle in the jungle.
In addition to Bungle in the Jungle, Jethro Tull has had several popular songs that have become AOR, or as Paul explained, album-oriented rock. They've been staples on radio and Spotify playlists, including from 1971, Aqualung.
Sitting on the park bench.
The album Aqualung has sold more than 7 million units.
Hey, Aqualung.
Listeners, my personal favorite song by Jethro Tull is from 1972, Thick as a Brick.
To be thick as a brick.
Listeners, believe it or not, the song Thick as a Brick runs longer than 43 minutes. Think about that. Both sides of a vinyl album.
What?
Love that I feel.
That's longer than Freebird.
It is.
So far away.
Many people probably have only heard the radio-edited version of the song, but if you want to, you can hear the entire version on Spotify.
Yeah, they should have been at our college rock station, because that would be a perfect song to put on and then go get some coffee or something.
Well, that's exactly it. Anne and I were both disc jockeys in the old days. That would be a perfect song to take a bathroom break on. You could take the break and have plenty of time to get back.
Or if you want to play new music from Ian, you can always play Ian's Thick as a Brick too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so he came back and he redid it?
A sequel. It was Gerald Bostock all grown up.
All right, well, let's play a snippet of Thick as a Brick, part 2.
Where did it come from? Where's it going? Harbor 6 loan shark numbers flowing.
And tell us about your role as representing Jethro Tull and frontman Ian Anderson. We could probably do a whole episode on that.
We definitely could. I connected with Ian in the mid-90s. First, I worked with his guitarist, Martin Barr. I had been freelancing at Imongo Records, which is the record label that was formed after Chrysalis, and it was formed by Terry Ellis, who really discovered Jethro Tull.
And you shake your head. You said it's a shame.
So since then, and it was the mid-90s, I've been working with Ian, and it's been great. I've made friends with many of the former Tull publicists, and they're all like, how do you get along so well with him? And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Ian's mellowed out and understands himself better, and he's so great to work with. I've learned a lot from both Ian, the band, and his family.
Listeners, that's Anne Leighton of Leighton Media Music Services Motivation, telling us about her role as publicist for Jethro Tull and Ian Anderson.
Spin me back down the years and the days years of my youth.
Hello, listeners. This is songwriter, artist, and producer Lena Cooper from Los Angeles, California. I enjoy listening to Derringer Discoveries.
I'm Rob from Vienna, Virginia in the U.S., and I listen to Derringer Discoveries.
This is Lisa from the country of Ukraine. Greetings from Ukraine to Laura, Alton, and Paul of Derringer Discoveries.
And for the second of the 3 examples of your artist publicist services, you requested to talk about the American pop band Orleans and its leader John Hall.
Listeners, Orleans, the band, was formed in 1972 in a little place you might have heard of, Woodstock, New York.
With more than 1.5 million monthly listeners on Spotify, Orleans, the band, is primarily known for 2 enduring pop rock hit songs from the 1970s. The first is from 1975, Dance With Me. Dance With Me. Dance With Me peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Top 40 charts in the US, and it also charted in Canada and Australia. For our listeners in the UK, it did not chart in the UK.
I want to be a partner, can't you see?
It was a co-write by John Hall. And Anne, tell me if I'm saying this right. Is it Johanna?
Johanna.
Johanna. Okay, that's a co-write by John Hall and Johanna Hall. And what is their relationship?
They were married early on in the swinging 60s, if you will, living in Greenwich Village. And when they moved to Woodstock, they also were married, and then it changed. But they stay in touch. They still write together and still friends. If I need lyrics for a song, I'll send a note to Johanna and John. And Johanna is always the one that sends me the lyrics.
Dance with me.
Yeah, she's a lyricist. That's what she's known for.
Yeah, and they wrote Half Moon for Janis Joplin. And I'll give you the story of that. It's how Johanna got into songwriting.
Oh, cool.
The story for Half Moon is they were living in Greenwich Village. Johanna was writing for the Village Voice and wrote something amazing about Janis Joplin. Janis decided to hang out with them all. They went back to their apartment in the village. And John decided to give Janis the song. And Janis is looking at the lyrics and going, oh no, this sounds like a man wrote this. Hey, you, Johanna, write me the lyrics. And she did, and Janis dug it, and there goes the songwriting career. Johanna Hall.
I just pulled it up on Spotify, written by Johanna Hall and John Hall for Janis Joplin, Half Moon.
Yeah, and they've written songs for other artists.
Listeners, the second well-known hit song by Orleans is from 1976, Still the One. Still the One peaked at number 5 on the Billboard rock charts in the US, and it also charted in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, but not the United Kingdom.
What?
The lyrics were written by Johanna Hall, who was challenged by a friend to write a song where the lovers actually don't break up, but instead stay together. John Hall wrote the music, and it is a good stay together song, you know? It doesn't make me want to barf.
No, and it's been used for so many movies and commercials and covers. It's amazing.
We're still having fun, and it's still the one.
Listeners, here's some interesting trivia about John Hall, or rather John Joseph Hall, who was born July 23, 1948. In recent years, John Hall was elected to serve as the U.S. Representative from New York's 19th Congressional District. He served 2 terms from 2007 to 2011. And tell us about your role as the publicist for Orleans, the band, and the band's leader, John Hall.
Most of the work I've done has been with John. It was for an album called Reclaiming My Time, which was him coming back to music.
Reclaiming My Time is my new album. It's a phrase that's used in Congress by somebody who's been interrupted or yielded time to someone else. Reclaiming my time, I'd like to finish what I was saying. And I'm reclaiming in this record the time that I might have done during the years I was in elective office.
I needed to learn patience. I wound up in a traffic jam.
And when you work with John Hall, do you ever get together in person with him, or is it by phone or by computer? How does that play out?
He's so great to talk with on the phone. There have been 3 times where we've met in person, but for the most part, it is phone and emails. I helped him get a show in New Jersey. I don't book bands, but I did know of a venue that would love him, and he got a show in New Jersey, and he drove me home from the gig.
Listeners, that's Anne Leighton, owner of the company Leighton Media, Music Services, Motivation, talking about her role as representative for Orleans, the band, and the band's leader, John Hall.
This is Aunt Tilly from Czechia in Central Europe. I enjoy listening to Derringer Discoveries.
This is Søren Koch from Denmark. I am the bassist for the Zombies, who are members of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I enjoy listening to Derringer Discoveries.
This is Addison from Fort Worth, Texas. We are all listening to Derringer Discoveries.
Bonjour, this is Elliot Murphy coming to you from Paris, France. You're listening to Derringer Discoveries with Paul Derringer, Laura Derringer, Alton Derringer, and now I'm Elliot Derringer.
And for the third of 3 examples of your artist Publicist services, you requested to talk about the Grammy Award-winning guitar trio known as the String Revolution.
Listeners, the String Revolution was formed in Los Angeles, California in 2015. The String Revolution is a dynamic guitar trio comprised of guitarists Janet Robin, Marcus Ilko, and Luis Robert. The String Revolution blends world music, rock, blues, Latin, and more.
The String Revolution is known for intriguing covers of well-known hit songs, such as Billie Jean by Michael Jackson.
And Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, may he rest in peace, which was a tribute to Randy Rhoads, may he also rest in peace.
In 2024, the String Revolution won a Grammy Award for Best Arrangement, Instrumental, or A Cappella.
The String Revolution recently released a new single called America. And this new single features Lakeisha Benjamin on saxophone. Yes, if you're wondering about the name America, this is the America from West Side Story. America was written by Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim. And tell us about your role as publicist for the String Revolution.
What I love doing with them is tour press, but I also love reaching out to the industry about their music because they are active in the Grammy community. I want to make sure that all my friends in the Recording Academy know about them. In addition, I also want to make sure that the music business knows about them. The band has worked with some amazing artists. Their cover of Crazy Train was done with Steve Stevens from Billy Idol's band. Their Grammy-winning song of Folsom Prison Blues was recorded at Cash Cabin. It was produced by John Carter Cash. They collaborated with Tommy Emmanuel. So it's an amazing collaboration. The band is so good at collaborating with people. They're wonderful to work with. There's a spirituality in their playing. I found them. It was actually a reconnection with Janet Robin. I was good acquaintances with a 1980s, 1990s band that she was in called Precious Metal.
That's Anne talking about her role as publicist for the String Revolution, which, as we have noted, is a Grammy Award-winning trio from Los Angeles, California.
And even though it breaks our heart, we need to wrap up this episode, but something tells me that we might be able to talk you into coming back for another episode in a couple of weeks. You think we could talk you into that?
Yeah.
We were hoping you would say yes.
That would be cool.
It's a pleasure. It's really a pleasure. I enjoy the podcast.
And we will have you return in about 2 weeks. Alton's always hesitant to actually put a number on it, but in a couple of weeks. And we're going to ask you to return with more artists. We'll save the shout-outs for your follow-up episode, but right now, I heard you mention that you love our name, Derringer Discoveries, and we have something that might actually make you happy. And we're going to go ahead right now and bestow upon you a new title. And that's right, you are Anne Leighton. You will always be Anne Leighton, but in addition to being Anne Leighton, you can now call yourself Anne Derringer. You are an honorary Derringer.
And there was much rejoicing.
I've always wanted to be a Derringer, but not in this way. But now I like being in this way. How cool is this? Thank you.
Yeah, Anne Derringer.
Yeah, we're glad you're a Derringer.
Come back for the next episode, and Anne Leighton will tell us about Rick Derringer. Until next time, this is Paul Derringer.
I'm Laura Derringer.
I'm Alton Derringer.
And I'm Anne Derringer.
All right, better known as Anne Leighton of Anne Leighton Media.
Anne Leighton Derringer Media, Music Service, and Motivation.
There you go. Thanks, Anne. I should have written it down more than once.
This has been Derringer Discoveries, a music adventure podcast. Song snippets were used in this episode to aid in the discussion, critique, and analysis of the songs. We encourage listeners to check out the artist discussed today. You can listen to their respective songs on most digital streaming platforms, including Spotify and Apple.
You can follow Derringer Discoveries on social media. We're DerringerDiscoveries.com on Blue Sky, Derringer Discoveries on Facebook, and Derringer Pod on Instagram, X, and Threads. Remember to sign up for our free newsletter. Did I say free? Yes, I did. Our free newsletter, and you can do that at DerringerDiscoveries.com. And listeners, we will post all of Anne Leighton's social media profiles on our show notes.
That's what I like to hear. Put it on the show notes.
In your sister's room. That's where it started. In your sister's
room. And don't feel bad. Before we got started, Alton took one look at my hair and asked me if I'd just got up from a nap. So
it looks fine to me.
We're used to giving each other some good-natured grief.
Yeah, who put that backwards, guys?
Who was our fact checker for this one?
Listeners, while we talk today sorry.
Can we check that?
Yeah, do you want us to double check?
Yeah, let's double check.
Alton, how's your speed double checking?
Yeah. Nice.